The notification pops up on my cracked phone screen. Your video has 2.3 million views. I swipe it away without looking. What's another million when you've already lost everything that mattered? My TikTok fame came at a price I'm still paying, sitting here in this moldy apartment in Tucson, 1,000 miles from the life I destroyed for likes and follows. 6 months ago, I was Amber Harrison, suburban mom of 2, married to Kyle for 12 years. Now I'm at Invisible Wife 23, the cautionary tale parents show their daughters about what not to do with social media. The woman who documented her own downfall in 15-second clips, complete with trending audio and perfectly timed transitions. It started so small, so innocent. Just a bored housewife looking for connection in all the wrong places. Kyle and I had settled into that deadly marriage rhythm where you're roommates who happen to share a mortgage. He'd come home from his accounting firm, eat the dinner I made, help the kids with homework, then disappear into his office to catch up on work. I'd clean up, get the kids to bed, then sit on the couch scrolling through my phone, wondering when I'd become invisible in my own home. The routine was a slow, suffocating poison. Monday was pot roast and the silence of chewing. Tuesday was tacos and the tired excuses he'd offer without looking up from his phone. Wednesday was pasta and the polite performance of a happy family. By Thursday, I'd stopped trying to engage him. By Friday, we were ghosts passing in the hallway. "How was your day?" I'd ask, knowing he'd say, "Fine, busy," without looking up from his phone. "Anything interesting happen?" I'd try again. "Not really." "Hey, did you call about the garage door?" Every conversation led back to household management. The broken garage door, the kids' dentist appointments, the property tax bill. We were co-managers of a life, not partners in one. I could have been anyone, a hired housekeeper who happened to sleep in his bed. "Night, honey," he'd say, pecking my cheek on his way to bed at exactly 10:30. "Night," I'd respond to his retreating back. We hadn't had a real conversation in months. Sex was scheduled for Saturday mornings if the kids had sports. Otherwise, it didn't happen. We were 2 ghosts haunting the same house, occasionally bumping into each other in the hallway. That's when I discovered TikTok. Not the dancing teenagers or the cooking hacks, the corner of the app where women like me gathered to share their pain in bite-sized pieces. Wives feeling invisible. Mothers losing themselves. Women wondering if this was all there was. My first video was simple. Just me, no makeup, talking to my phone at 2 a.m. When did I become the invisible woman in my own life? Set to that sad piano music everyone was using. I expected nothing. Maybe a few views from other insomniacs. I woke up to 10,000 views and hundreds of comments. "Girl, I feel this in my soul. 23 years married and same. You're not alone, Mama." The validation was intoxicating. Strangers on the internet saw me, heard me, understood me in ways Kyle hadn't in years. I started posting more. Little snippets of my loneliness, my frustration, my yearning for something more. POV, you're planning a romantic dinner and he texts he's working late again. That moment when you realize you're just the maid who he happens to be married to. Dying inside but make it aesthetic. My follower count climbed. 1,000, 5,000, 10,000. Each milestone felt like validation. These people chose to follow my story, to care about my pain. They commented with hearts and crying emojis, shared their own stories of marital invisibility, created a community of forgotten wives. I started putting more effort into my videos. Better lighting, trending audios, strategic hashtags. I'd film multiple takes, perfecting the sad wife aesthetic. The raw 2 a.m. confessions became carefully curated performances of pain. But the engagement was worth it. Every like, every comment, every share proved I mattered to someone, somewhere. "You should write a book. Your husband doesn't deserve you." Living for these updates. Kyle remained oblivious. He'd pass by while I was filming, barely glancing at me talking to my phone. Once, he even walked through the background of a video about feeling alone. The comments went wild. Is that him? The audacity. He really doesn't see you. Each video got more views, more comments, more followers, women sharing their own stories, telling me I was brave for speaking my truth. I wasn't invisible anymore. I was at Invisible Wife 23, voice of the unseen wives, and thousands of people cared what I had to say. That's when I met Derrick. He slid into my DMs with a simple message. Your videos are breaking my heart. You deserve to be seen. I should have ignored it. Should have deleted it like the dozens of other messages from men thinking a sad wife was an easy target. But something about his profile made me pause. He was attractive, yes, but it was more than that. His own videos showed a depth, a creativity, an understanding of pain that matched mine. Just another invisible spouse, I typed back. Nothing special. Wrong. You're extraordinary. Your husband's an idiot if he can't see that. We started messaging, first about our videos, the creative process, the weird algorithm, then about our marriages, our disappointments, our dreams. He lived in Phoenix, close enough to be possible, far enough to be safe. He was married too, but separated, living in an apartment while lawyers sorted out the details. My wife and I were like roommates, he wrote. Except roommates actually talk to each other. I know the feeling. Sometimes I wonder if Kyle would notice if I just disappeared. I'd notice. I notice everything about you. The messages turned into texts. Texts turned into phone calls. Late-night conversations while Kyle slept, whispering confessions and dreams into the phone like teenagers. Derrick saw me. Really saw me. Not just as a mother or wife or housekeeper, but as Amber, a woman with desires and ambitions and a need to be touched like I mattered. Make a video about feeling alive again, he suggested one night. But don't say why. So I did. Me in my car, golden hour lighting, mouthing words to finally feeling alive after years of being numb. The comments exploded with speculation. Was I leaving? Had I met someone? The mystery drove engagement through the roof. You're playing with fire, my sister Madison warned when she saw it. Kyle's going to see these eventually. Kyle doesn't even know what TikTok is, I laughed. He's too busy with his spreadsheets to care what I'm doing. But I was getting bolder. Each video hinted more at my secret. A man's watch on my nightstand. Derrick had left it during his first visit. A second coffee cup in my car. Text notifications I'd quickly swipe away while filming. My followers were living for the drama, trying to piece together the story. Is she having an affair? Girl, we need details. Living for this plot twist. I told myself I wasn't really lying, just creating content, sharing my journey. If people wanted to speculate, that was on them. But the truth was, I was documenting my affair in real time, turning my betrayal into entertainment for strangers. The first time Derrick visited was electric. Kyle was at a conference in Dallas. The kids were at my mother's. I had 48 hours to be someone other than invisible wife and tired mother. I filmed myself getting ready, careful to keep his face out of frame when he arrived. For the algorithm? He teased, seeing my phone propped up. For the memories, I lied. But I did film. His hands holding mine, careful not to show identifying features. His silhouette against my bedroom window. The room service he ordered because I deserved to be spoiled. Each clip carefully edited, perfectly vague, designed to drive my followers wild with curiosity. The video titled, When Someone Finally Sees You, got 500,000 views in 6 hours. Comments poured in faster than I could read them. Some supportive, some scandalized, all engaged. I was addicted to the attention, the validation, the proof that I wasn't invisible anymore. Show his face. Your husband doesn't deserve you. This is better than Netflix. I started planning content around our affair. When Derrick would visit, I'd have my ring light ready, angles planned, trending audios saved. He thought it was funny at first, playing to my audience. But as the videos got more popular, he got nervous. Maybe we should be more careful, he said after I posted a video of his car in my driveway. What if someone recognizes it? No one's going to recognize a black BMW, I dismissed. Besides, the mystery is what they love. But I was getting careless, drunk on attention and possibility. The comments were my new drug, each notification a hit of validation. My followers grew to 100,000, then 200,000. Brands started reaching out for partnerships. Me, Amber Harrison, invisible wife, was becoming somebody. You're glowing lately, Kyle commented one morning, surprising me. New workout routine? Something like that, I said, thinking of Derrick's hands on my body the day before. Good for you. You seem happier. The guilt should have hit then. My husband, clueless as he was, had noticed I was happier. But instead of appreciating his attempt at connection, I filmed a TikTok about it. When he finally notices you're glowing but has no idea why. Set to that Olivia Rodrigo song about secrets. My followers ate it up. The beginning of the end came in October. I'd gotten bolder with my content, showing more of Derrick without revealing his face. His hands, his back, the way he held me. The videos were artistic, I told myself, tasteful, just sharing my journey to find myself again. One video in particular sealed my fate. Derrick had bought me a necklace, nothing expensive, just a simple silver chain with a moon pendant. But it was the first jewelry I'd received in years that wasn't tied to an obligation. Mother's Day. Gifts the kids picked out, anniversary presents that felt like checking a box. This was just because he wanted to see me smile. I filmed myself wearing it, the camera focused on my neck, his fingers fastening the clasp. The caption read, "When he gives you jewelry just because, not because the calendar tells him to." The video exploded. 800,000 views in 12 hours. The comments were a battlefield. This is definitely an affair. That's not her husband's hands. Anyone else recognize that watch? That last comment should have terrified me. Someone had noticed Derrick's watch, a distinctive vintage Omega his father had given him. But I was too high on the engagement to care. I was trending. Me, Amber Harrison, invisible suburban mom, was trending on TikTok. Soft launch or secret affair? Became a trending topic in my comments. People made compilation videos of all my hints, analyzing every detail. TikTok detectives trying to piece together the identity of my mystery man. It was thrilling and terrifying and addictive all at once. Then Kyle's coworker Jennifer found my account. I'll never know if she was randomly scrolling or if someone sent it to her. But she watched enough videos to piece together what was happening. The timeline, the hints, the barely concealed joy of a woman having an affair. And like any good coworker, she went straight to Kyle. I was filming a get ready to meet him video when Kyle came home early. I had my ring light set up, makeup half done, wearing lingerie under my robe. The camera was rolling when he walked into our bedroom. "What are you doing?" His voice was strange, controlled. "Just making a video. For fun." I grabbed my phone, stopped recording. "For fun?" He pulled out his own phone, showed me my TikTok page. "Jennifer showed me your fun videos, all of them." My blood turned to ice. On his screen was my most recent post, Derrick's hands on my waist, the caption reading, "When he makes you remember what butterflies feel like." Kyle, I can explain. Can you? Can you explain why our entire life is content for strangers? Why our marriage problems are trending topics? Why there's another man in our bedroom? It's not what it looks like. It's exactly what it looks like. He scrolled through video after video. 6 months of this. 6 months of you broadcasting our failure to the world. Do you know what it's like to have your coworker show you that your wife is having an affair on TikTok? You never paid attention to me. You made me invisible. So you decided to make me a fool in front of millions of people. He wasn't wrong. In my quest to be seen, I'd turned him into a character in my drama. The clueless husband, the neglectful spouse, the villain in my story of self-discovery. I'd shared our private pain for public consumption, turned our marriage into content. "The kids," he said quietly. "Have you thought about the kids? When their friends find these, when they see their mother," he couldn't finish. I hadn't thought about the kids, hadn't thought about anything beyond the next video, the next 1,000 followers, the next hit of validation. Emma was 13, old enough to have TikTok. Ethan was 11, old enough to hear about it from friends. I'd been so focused on not being invisible that I'd forgotten who might be watching. "I want you out," Kyle said. "Tonight. Take what you need and go. This is my house, too. Not anymore. My lawyer will contact you. And Amber, delete the videos, all of them. Our kids don't deserve to have their mother's affair as their digital legacy." But I couldn't delete them. Not yet. Those videos were my identity now. My proof that I'd mattered to someone. As I packed, I kept refreshing my page, watching the view count climb on my latest post. The comments were split between Team Amber and Team Husband, dissecting our marriage like it was a reality show. "She deserves happiness. That poor man finding out on TikTok." "Anyone have his sign? I want to hear his side." That last comment made me pause. Kyle's side. I'd never considered that he might have one worth hearing. In my narrative, he was the neglectful husband who'd driven me to find attention elsewhere. But what was his narrative? The wife who'd rather perform intimacy for strangers than work on real intimacy with him? I packed while he stood in the doorway, making sure I didn't take anything that wasn't mine. My phone kept buzzing with notifications. New comments, new followers, new brand partnership requests. The irony wasn't lost on me. I was finally TikTok famous just as my real life crumbled. I drove to Derrick's apartment. Sure, he'd take me in. We were in love, weren't we? This was just pushing us to take the next step sooner than planned. But when I knocked on his door at midnight, suitcase in hand, his face told a different story. "Amber, what are you doing here?" "Kyle found out. He kicked me out, but it's okay. Now we can..." "We can't." He blocked the doorway. "My wife and I are working things out. We're in counseling. I can't do this anymore." "What?" "But you said you were separated." "We were. But seeing you destroy your marriage for content made me realize I was doing the same thing. I went home last week. We're trying again." "Last week?" "You were in my bed 3 days ago." "I know, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have..." "Look, what we had was exciting, but it wasn't real. It was performance. Content. You know that, right?" I didn't know that. I thought we were in love. I thought he saw me. But standing in his doorway, I realized he saw what everyone else saw. A woman so desperate for attention, she'd film her own life falling apart. "Please, Derrick. I love you." "You love the idea of me. The mystery man for your videos. But I'm just a guy who made a mistake. And so are you." He closed the door. I stood in the hallway of his building, suitcase at my feet, phone still buzzing with notifications, completely alone. The invisible wife, finally seen by millions, with nowhere to go. I spent that night in a hotel, scrolling through my comments. My followers had noticed something was wrong. The half-finished video had posted automatically, cutting off when Kyle walked in. The comments were exploding with speculation. "OMG, did he catch her? This is insane. We need an update ASAP. Team Husband, honestly, this is messed up." That last comment stung. As the hours passed, the tide began to turn. What had been supportive followers cheering on my journey became critics realizing they'd been watching a real marriage dissolve. The comments got harsher. "Those poor kids. Imagine finding out about your wife's affair on TikTok. She really destroyed her family for views." I posted one last video. Me in that hotel room, no makeup, tears streaming. I thought I was invisible. Turns out I was just selfish. To my family, I'm sorry. To my followers, the show's over. The video went viral, 3 million views in 24 hours. News outlets picked it up. TikTok wife documents own affair, destroys marriage for content. I became a trending topic, but not in the way I'd wanted. I was the villain of my own story, the cautionary tale, the woman who chose followers over family. Kyle filed for divorce immediately. Full custody of the kids, citing my reckless disregard for their well-being by making our private life public. The judge agreed. I got supervised visits every other weekend after completing a social media addiction program. The program was humiliating, sitting in a circle with other people who'd destroyed their lives for likes and follows. There was Brandon, who'd lost his job live streaming himself harassing customers. Sarah, who'd filmed her daughter's mental breakdown for sympathy views. We were all addicted to the same drug, validation from strangers. The dopamine hit from social media engagement activates the same neural pathways as cocaine, the counselor explained. You literally become addicted to the feedback loop. I wanted to argue that my situation was different. I wasn't some clout-chasing teenager. I was a neglected wife finding her voice. But as I listened to the others' stories, the patterns were undeniable. We'd all chosen digital validation over real relationships. We'd all performed our pain for an audience instead of addressing it privately. I lost custody of my kids, Sarah shared one day. Posted a video of my daughter crying after her dad didn't show up for visitation. Got 2 million views. CPS saw it and decided I was exploiting her emotional distress. The room nodded knowingly. We'd all crossed lines we couldn't see in the moment, too blinded by view counts and engagement rates. The first time I saw Emma after everything, she wouldn't look at me. Everyone at school knows, she said quietly. They've all seen the videos. They call you TikTok mom. I'm sorry, baby. I never meant... You meant to... She cut me off, sounding older than 13. You filmed everything. You uploaded it. You meant for people to see. You just didn't think about us. She was right. In my desperate need to be seen, I'd made my children visible in the worst way. They became the kids with the mom who had an affair on TikTok. The kids whose family drama was public entertainment. My account was banned eventually. TikTok cited community guidelines violations after enough people reported the videos as harmful content. My 300,000 followers vanished overnight, along with the brand deals, the partnership opportunities, the false sense of importance. Derrick blocked me everywhere. His wife made him post a statement distancing himself from the TikTok affair scandal. He claimed I'd manipulated him, edited videos to make things seem more than they were. The man who'd made me feel seen now pretended I didn't exist. I moved to Tucson to escape the shame. Found a job at a call center where no one knew my face or my story. Rented this apartment with water stains on the ceiling and neighbors who fight at 3 a.m. It's all I can afford after the divorce settlement and lawyer fees. Sometimes I create new TikTok accounts just to watch. The algorithm knows what I want. More stories of invisible wives, more women documenting their pain, more digital disasters waiting to happen. I want to comment, to warn them, but what would I say? That the validation isn't worth it? That followers aren't friends? That being seen by strangers isn't the same as being known by the people who matter? They wouldn't listen anyway. I wouldn't have. My old videos live on in compilation clips. The rise and fall of @Invisible Wife 23. How one woman destroyed her life for clout. TikTok's biggest scandal explained. Each one has millions of views. I've become content for other creators, my pain repackaged for new audiences. There's even a documentary. Some true crime YouTuber reached out months ago, wanting to interview me for a deep dive into the psychology of social media affairs. I declined, but she made the video anyway, using my TikToks under fair use, analyzing my body language, my captions, the escalation of my content. 2 million views in a week. She made thousands in ad revenue off my downfall while I restock organic dog food at Target for $15 an hour. The comments on her video were brutal, but not wrong. This is what happens when you value strangers' opinions over your family's well-being. Feel bad for the kids. Imagine your friend sending you your mom's affair TikToks. She got exactly what she wanted. Attention, just not the kind she expected. Sometimes I create burner accounts to check on Kyle and the kids. Emma has her own TikTok now, carefully curated, never showing her face. Her bio reads, Digital Privacy Advocate. I know that's because of me. I taught her that the internet is forever, that anything you post can be weaponized against you. She learned it by watching her mother's digital destruction in real time. The notifications on my phone are different now. Child support reminders, lawyer emails, appointment confirmations for the supervised visitation center, real-life admin for a real life I destroyed, chasing digital validation. Kyle remarried last month, a teacher from the kids' school who doesn't have social media. Emma sent me a picture from the wedding, not to be cruel, I think, but to show me what I'd thrown away. Kyle looked happy, fully present, like a man who'd learned to pay attention. She makes Dad laugh, Emma texted, and she never films us. That last part hurt more than the wedding photo. My children now measured love by the absence of cameras, safety by the lack of documentation. I'd taught them that being seen meant being exploited, that private moments were just content waiting to be posted. I still have the urge to film sometimes. When the loneliness hits, when the invisibility returns, when I need to process the pain. My fingers itch for the record button, for the familiar comfort of performing my feelings for an audience. But I resist. I journal instead badly, in a notebook no one will ever see. The truth is, I was never really invisible. Kyle saw me, the real me, not the curated version I presented online. He saw my morning breath and bad moods, and the way I danced to music while cooking. He saw my stretch marks and crow's feet and loved me anyway. But that wasn't enough. I needed strangers to see the version of me I wanted to be. Desired, mysterious, worth watching. Now I'm truly invisible. No followers, no likes, no viral moments. Just a woman in her 30s starting over in a city where no one knows her name. I work, I come home, I eat dinner alone. On my visitation weekends, I try to rebuild trust with children who learned too young that their mother valued strangers' attention over their privacy. Sometimes I dream about that night in the hotel, scrolling through those final comments as my world burned down. In the dream, I can go back, delete everything, choose my family over my followers. But I always wake up in this apartment, with its moldy ceiling and view of the parking lot, reminded that some choices can't be undone. My phone buzzes. A text from Emma. Can we FaceTime before bed? Of course, baby. No screenshots, I promise. Mom, she sighs, but I can hear the tiny smile. Just be normal. Normal. No ring lights, no angles, no performance. Just a mother talking to her daughter through a cracked screen, trying to be seen in the only way that ever really mattered. It's not much, but it's real. And after everything I've lost chasing fake intimacy with strangers, real is all I have left. The notification banner pops up as we talk. Your account has been permanently banned. Another platform recognizing my new username, shutting down any attempt to return. Good. The invisible wife needs to stay that way. Some stories don't deserve a sequel, and mine is one of them. But I keep the app on my phone. A digital scar, a reminder, a warning. A gravestone for the life I buried, one 15-second video at a time.